That fire wasn't just of wood. That fire was in a father's heart. The moment he laid his beloved son on the sand, those 2 tears that streamed from the eyes of Ismail, a.s. Those 2 tears held the pain of all the world's trials. Can you imagine? The child for whom you prostrated for decades, Allah asks for his sacrifice. And when that father ran the knife, it didn't just move on the throat, it moved across that father's heart. This is the story of faith, Iman. This is the story of that pain, which a friend of Allah learned to bear with a smile. Our story begins in the ancient city of Babylon, Babul, where man had begun to bow before things he had created himself. This was the era when there was one man, Ibrahim a.s., who was only physically a part of that environment, but his heart always gazed toward the heavens. He would see people worshipping the stars, worshipping the sun, and above all, his own father, Azar, who carved idols with his own hands. Every day Azar would give those idols to Ibrahim, that innocent child only saw them as lifeless stones. Inside him, there was a question, a voice that kept repeating, "Who is my Lord?" One day, he went out into the loneliness of the night. He looked at the moon, was lost in its brilliance, and thought, "Could this be my Lord?" But when the moon set, he refused to accept that ephemeral thing as the Lord. Then he saw the sun, witnessed its majesty and glory, but when the sun also set, Ibrahim made that declaration which is the slogan of every believer even today. I turn my face towards the one who created the heavens and the earth, and I am not among the polytheists. This was the voice of monotheism, Tawheed, which he first took to his father, Azar. He spoke to his father with gentleness and love. "O my father, why do you worship things that can neither hear, nor see, nor benefit you in any way?" But Azar only loved worldly wealth and old traditions. He began to threaten Ibrahim. Ibrahim knew that people would not listen until the truth was placed right before their eyes. One day, when the whole city was out for its festival and the temple, Kada, was empty, Ibrahim entered. In his hand was an axe, Kulhadi. He broke every small and large idol, smashing them into pieces. He only left the biggest idol intact, and placed the axe on its shoulder. When the people returned and saw the helplessness of their gods, they went mad with rage. They knew this could only be the work of Ibrahim Ibrahim was brought before Namrud, the king of that time. And then began the greatest debate in history. Nimrod tried to show off his false power, but Ibrahim only said one thing to him. "My Lord is the one who brings the sun from the east. You bring it from the west." The king was rendered speechless, his ego shattered.
But he tried to hide his defeat with force. The command was given, "Burn Ibrahim in the fire." From here begins the pain that can only be conquered by faith. A massive fire was prepared. The flames were touching the sky. When Ibrahim was being thrown into that fire, everyone in the world was terrified. But what was on Ibrahim's tongue? Only Hasbuna Allah who Washington Nine Waqia sufficient for us is Allah, and He is the best disposer of affairs. He did not ask for help from any creation. And then, the miracle happened. The command of Allah Ta'ala came, "O fire, be cool and safe upon Ibrahim." That burning fire immediately turned into a cool and peaceful garden. This scene showed that when your focus is only towards Allah, even the fire becomes your friend. When people did not believe, Ibrahim migrated, along with his righteous and beloved wife, Hazrat Sarah. Years passed, and Sarah had no children. This was the pain of waiting, praying every time and then patiently enduring the silence. But their faith remained strong. Then Sarah gave her maidservant, Hazrat Hajar, in marriage to Ibrahim. And after a long wait, Ibrahim's first son, Ismail was born to Hajar. The prayer of an entire lifetime had been answered. Ibrahim's eyes filled with joy. But the next command of Allah, Leave Ismail as and Haya are a alone in the waterless. Baaabog of Valley of Makkah. This is the pain we can never forget. Ibrahim had to leave the child whose life had only just begun. He started to leave. Haya ran restlessly behind him. She asked only one question. The question that is the final sign of faith. Is this the command of Allah? Ibrahim answered yes and did not look back. The great sentence came from Haya's lips. Then he will never destroy us when the milk ran out. And the child's life was on the verge of collapsing from thirst. Haya ran to the point of madness. Between the hills of Safa and Marwa, she ran 7 times. This is the ultimate scene of a mother's love and trust in Allah, and when her faith and patience touched its limit, the spring of Zamzam burst forth from the strike of the innocent Ismail's heel. This water will remain a sign of their greatness until the day of judgment. When Ismail grew up, he became the son that every parent dreams of. But then came the dream. For 3 nights, Ibrahim dreamt that he was sacrificing his son. His heart, which had not burned even in the fire, was breaking today. But Allah's command was above all else. Ibrahim asked that innocent son, "O my son, I have seen in a dream that I am sacrificing you. Tell me, what is your opinion?" Ismail's answer is a lesson for us. The son replied, "O my father, do what you have been commanded. Inshallah, if Allah wills, you will find me among the patient, a father's love and a son's." Faith were face to face. As they walked for the sacrifice, Satan tried to tempt them in 3 places. But Ibrahim pelted him with stones, shooing him away. Finally, that moment arrived. Ibrahim laid his son on the sand. There were tears in his eyes. But in his hand was the command of Allah. His love had submitted before the love of Allah. When he ran the knife, that knife did not do what it was commanded to do. A voice came from Allah, "O Ibrahim, you have fulfilled the dream." He had offered the greatest sacrifice, and Allah replaced his son with a ram from paradise. This event showed that Allah does not want the blood of an animal, but only and purely the faith and complete submission taslim of his servant. And then came that blessed time. In that valley of Makkah, where Haya had performed sea running, Ibrahim and Ismail together raised the foundations of the Kaaba. This was the first center of humanity, built on the foundation of monotheism Tawheed. They kept raising the walls of the Kaaba and kept praying, "Our Lord, accept this service from us. Indeed you are the all-hearing, the all-knowing." Ibrahim's trials made him Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. Prophets from all over the world came from his lineage, and his prayers were answered. Hazrat Muhammad SAW was also from his line. Voiceover, filled with peace and faith. This story of Hazrat Ibrahim teaches us that fire cannot burn you when your heart is filled with the love of Allah in difficult times. Patience is your greatest weapon. He was not just a man. He was the architect of faith who, by giving every sacrifice, sacrificed his everything for the name of Allah, and, because of his submission and contentment, he's called the father of the Muslims even today.